Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Hughes Jester. My name is Junior. Today is going to be a review of the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Commander figure, which is this one. But before we do that, we're going to be touching on a few things about the book, the Art of G.I. Joe Omnibus hardcover. I'm already at 154 pages. It's got 700 pages. And that's just me doing kind of like light reading and all that stuff. Really fascinating because not only does it talk about G.I. Joe and all that stuff, but it also talks about how the business side of things went on about it. We tend to now in 2024, right? When we see products, we get rumors, we get the internet, we get stolen manufactured goods from the production company that we see online immediately to show us what the figures are and all that stuff. But way back then, dude, it was just so amazing where they had to do fake packaging, fake promotions because they didn't even have the products yet. They were just like doing. They basically had the box as part of the display, and Toy Fair then was really kind of small niche and mostly geared towards companies. But the book tech talks all about that kind of stuff. But it really made me appreciate more about what's going on with the GI Joe and the figures that I'm receiving now. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is I think Hasbro has gotten like a massive haul of figures in anticipation of the coming strike on the eastern docks, that they wanted all their figures uploaded from their boats before it hit. Because I tell you what, this is what I got from one Amazon box, which I don't usually get. So I got the two figures of Cobra Commander, which I didn't know I bought two. The Retro Stalker, the Destiny and Rogue 2-pack, the two 60th anniversary figures, and then the Phoenix, Jean Grey. Not only that, I just got two email notices from Hasbro that the Dragonfly is about to ship, the Giant Man is about to ship, and my Hasbro Robosen Megatron has been shipped. Like, oh my god, guys! The Megatron alone is $1,000. Giant Man was 220. Dragonfly was 300 or something. These guys are like what, 50, 25, 50, 30. Oh my god, 30, and another 50 for Jean Grey. Oh my god, my credit cards. I know I paid for Giant Man and Dragonfly almost a year ago, but Megatron was 1,000, and that just got hit on my credit card. Oh my god. Okay, enough of that. Anyway, so I'm getting a whole lot of crap from Hasbro this week. So going back to the anticipation of these figures, now that I have the book, it's really kind of interesting. It gives me a little bit more insight, not only to the company and the people behind it that made it work, but also just the little details on the figure. Like, for example, I didn't notice this on Stalker. So obviously we're getting the retro style on Stalker, but I was going through it, and I was looking through the initial first nine figures that was original release in 1982, and I realized I think we had like only 4 or 5 of them so far out. So I was looking at Grunt over here, I mean Stalker over here, and I had the figure out, and I was wondering if I was gonna order the retro, and I didn't realize I had ordered it. But as I was looking at it, it's like, did you guys notice that the pattern on the shirt is exactly was matched by Hasbro in the pattern over there? Now I don't know if they did the same thing for the legs. It kind of looks like they did. Look at this one over here, like the bottom one before it goes to the knees, how it goes diagonally, but it has a dip in the middle. Same thing as this one. This one's a triangle, that one's a triangle. So it kind of looks like they matched the pattern off of the camo that Stalker was using. So I was really interested in that. The other thing too, earlier on with I gotta be careful. I really don't want to bend or crease these pages. They're so beautiful. And as you notice, I actually bought a heavy book case, a book reader stand. It's like $30 on Amazon, but it just makes it easier for me to read. This is the Stalker. The other thing too, so they definitely, I was comparing it during the book reading if they used the original art or not. But I think what they did, they used this as a template. But this is definitely a redo. With the Baroness, it wasn't as apparent, but with Stalker, definitely it is. Not only are the lines crisper, but if you notice, the angle of the magazine over here is different from the angle over here. Oh, he's actually holding a different kind of gun too. The blunt end is different from this one. The face is slightly different from that one. And he has a holster here. So they actually updated this too much. Oh, but this is the classified. So this is not the retro. That's kind of interesting. Did they change the packaging from the classified retro to the retro 3 3/4? That's interesting because this is definitely a brand new one. The Baroness one from the 3 3/4 one wasn't noticeable, but come on, where are you? The other thing I noticed was initially when I was looking at Scarlet and I had to figure out, I wondered if they really tried to emulate and copy the face off of the original Scarlet. I think they were almost did, and I kind of wish they kind of went that far, because then it would have really tied back to the original G.I. Joe. Because I like her face, but there's something about it, like the lips on her is a little bit more wider than the one over here. The eyes are good enough. The cheekbones are a little too rough on this one, too sharp. But as I was looking into that, then I started looking at the detail that's going on from the figure to the artwork, where you get to see the pouches on the side of the legs over here. She doesn't have the same as this one, because this one doesn't look like dynamite, and that's like she's got a strap of dynamite in there. This is crazy. And then I saw that she has this small gun over here on her wrist, which is also there. I knew about the stars, but I didn't even realize that was a gun until I saw it on the artwork, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, so that's it for the book. I'm sorry about that. It's got a little bit longer than necessary, but really this book is really making me appreciate the figures that we're getting from Hasbro. Not necessarily the history, or wanted to get the 3.75 O-ring again. I'm just way past that. But the fact that the current team of the Hasbro development team is looking into these and trying to incorporate the designs from this one. But anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and do the actual review of Cobra Commander. Let's see. Here he is. Finally we get a real Cobra Commander. I have the original one that came out with the new G.I. Joe Classifieds, with the box thing and the robe and everything. I got it just because, but I've never opened it. I have the one from the His tank, but I've never opened it because it comes in with the His tank. So finally we get it, and I'm glad we did, because the vac metal face in this one is just amazing. And here it is. This is what came with this package. I never got this one, I think, so I already have enough G.I. Joe Cobra officers and all that stuff. So one of the things I do miss instead of this one is this one right here. This is all we have for Cobra Commander. and I really do kind of wish this one, which is it's still kind of the same because it still has the role primary, secondary, and the birthplace, which is what this one is. But it doesn't have this part right here, and I'm not sure if it matches this one. Let's see if it matches the short. See, it's completely different. It's whatever stuff they put in here, it's completely different from the original one, which is kind of weird, that they didn't use any of the names in there, or the wordings from. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. Stalkers over there. Yeah, it's different. Anyway, so here's the packaging and everything, all that stuff. I have two of them, so I already have it out of the packaging, one of them. So let's take a look at the accessories. Here's the knife. It's very simply painted. Just it's regular black and with a bit of silver, but I'm okay with that. At least we have that. In some of the earlier Joes, we don't even have the silver paint, so I'm glad they put that in there. The backpack that will go behind Cobra Commander. You can see the Cobra logo in there, a bunch of silver and all that stuff, and it just plugs in. This is actually so much more simpler than it was before. I think it just plugs in really nice, like really small over there. Cobra Commander's gun, again a simple one, but I'm kind of surprised that they put in that small hint of red in there. It's so small, it's almost not noticeable, but I'm glad it's there. It's just not black, but a black with a tinge of reddish dots. And then it comes with these hands over here, a pointing hand, as you can see. This one, I suppose, I think this was used for the globe, the one that was holding the globe or something like that. It's kind of weird hand. And then the two-fisted hands that's coming in. They're both sideways hinged. This one is also, this one technically is an up and down hinge, because if it's holding something, then it's up and down. And then of course it comes with this stand over here. I really do wish it was a little bit smaller. We don't really need this much real estate. Like from here to here is fine, you know, but it's nice to have the Cobra symbol in there. So let's take a look at the figure itself. I really do like this Cobra Commander. This is very reminiscent of the Cobra Commander that we see in the cartoons. The colors are not exactly as what I'm seeing on the camera. On the camera, the blues appear more brighter than what it is on hand. Here it's a much more darker hue. On the camera, the red is much more popping because of the contrast with the blue and the red, but not necessarily in hand. I kind of actually prefer what I'm seeing through the camera more than what I'm holding in hand, because what I'm seeing on the camera is just pops a lot more, much more better. But still, this figure definitely has the articulation that was missing in Super 7. This is really almost like the quintessential Cobra Commander. I have the older Cobra Commander, as you can see over there in the packaging, so we can kind of compare what was originally in there, in the original toy. So we can see the insignia on his belt over here, but we can kind of see that from the original toy doesn't have the white that we're seeing over here. It has this little gadget over here and all that stuff. Obviously the shape of the helmet is different. I like this shape of the head because it does kind of remind me of what it was in the cartoons. Definitely much better shape than the one that we got from the box, from the original G.I. Joe Classified. And it has a stripe over here. I think it was just the last minute that I decided to buy two of them, so I love Cobra Commander so much. Such an iconic such an iconic villain in all the 80s cartoons, right? You need to have Mumra, you need to have who else? Skeletor. You definitely needed to have Cobra Commander. So yeah. So articulation wise, it can look up pretty good enough. Oh wow, there's an actual joint on the neck, so he can actually look down as well, much better. He's got the butterfly joint, so his shoulder can move that almost like just honestly almost horizontal. So it's, I don't know if that butterfly is really helping a lot. It does a little, oh, it does a lot on the back, but not necessarily out in the front. You have the usual bicep twist, the double joints on the elbows, which I'm being careful about because this is my new toy and it's really stiff. It does have a twist on the glove, and as we saw, the hands has the up and in and out swing instead of the up and down. Oh, this one has an up and down, and this one also has an up and down. So the other hands has the in and out swing, but this one has the up and down. And you got this crunch over here, which I do prefer rather than having um, the cut over here. I prefer this kind of articulation because it gives you this much range. So I'm glad that Cobra Commander was able to sneak away from the newer joints that I guess some people are preferring. Got a drop down joint for the leg so you can kick really high, more than 45 degrees. So that's cool. And the usual thigh twist or the leg twist, thigh twist, I guess. And then the sheath for his knife, double jointed on the knee, so that's cool. Goes that much. And then the ankle obviously goes up and down and twist side to side. So here's my attempt to emulate Cobra Commander's pose right up there in the old classic vintage style. Yeah, definitely not any kind of disappointment at all with Cobra Commander. This is the what I've been waiting for. Just as I was waiting for General Hawk and everything, definitely a figure that you need to get. If you're anywhere interested or any at all interested in the G.I. Joe line, you need to have Cobra Commander. So I think that's the reason why I got two of them in the first place. But that's it for my review. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about the book again and about the kind of joy that I found connecting the book from to the current iteration of G.I. Joe with the G.I. Joe Classifieds, because this is basically my G.I. Joe at this point. I'm really happy with where the line is going. Um, so definitely if it can tie in a little bit more towards the classical styles of where it came from, it kind of enriches the history and the depth of the characters, because then you get to tie it in from the very very first beginning, now that we have the book to kind of ground us, you know. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of a show, and I'll see you guys again soon on the next review, because I obviously have a lot to review. So goodbye.